main rules of the European Union is that every European citizen has the right to be spoken to and understood in its mother language, in his or her mother language, sorry. What I mean with that is that there are 24 official languages in the European Union, including Gaelic, so that makes lots of different combinations such as Spanish to English, French to German, Polish to Italian, Gaelic to Greek. So there are like lots of different combinations, and the consequence of that is that the European Union needs lots and lots of translators who know lots of different languages at the moment.
Yeah, she also told us about the different ways one can interpret for the European Union. Specifically, well, one of the few she actually does. Okay, so she works as a simultaneous interpreter, which is basically as, for example, if there's a reunion or a congress in the European Parliament, they have to be there, like in a booth. We'll get into that later. And what they have to do is they have to, as the other politicians are speaking, they have to translate directly, well, interpret directly what they're saying and then transmit that, communicate that to the politician. They're in charge of communicating what it's being said. And it's not perfect because humans make mistakes. And so you can't really trust that blindly, because they are going to make mistakes, but they help each other out. So.
Yeah, and another really interesting thing she said during the lecture is that as an interpreter, you don't need to speak all the languages you are supposed to, you just need to understand them. Meaning, if you are an interpreter to Spanish and you're in a Spanish booth, you need to translate from different languages to Spanish. So for example, if I am an interpreter at the Spanish booth and I can interpret English, French and Polish, for example, I need to understand those three languages and translate that to Spanish while I'm talking, but I don't need to be able to speak Polish. So for example, she said, I'm a translator from English, German, Italian and French to Spanish, but she couldn't speak English. She could just speak Italian and French and some German, which I think was really interesting, because when we think about an interpreter or a translator, we are thinking of, yeah, you can speak many languages, but actually she couldn't, so that was quite striking.
Yeah, so getting more in the technical aspect of the lecture, she also told us about booths and the system in which different interpreters are divided, right? So she told us how European Union buildings are fitted with specific booths for each language. So in the Spanish booth, there are going to be 19, I believe she said. She works with 19 people to translate, and they help each other out, right? So it's not, if there was only one person that had to do the job, it would be catastrophic, because they have to pay attention to a lot of different aspects of what's being said, and especially the simultaneous branch of it. And also, one thing she mentioned was they help each other out with numbers or dates. So it's crucially important when an English politician is speaking about Brexit, and he's mentioning different dates, different numbers, different amounts of things that can be very important depending on the context. So what they do is, one is actually translating and communicating that which they translate to the politician or congressman or whatever, and his or her colleagues are writing down dates, numbers, which the person who's in charge of speaking might not have picked up. And yeah, that's one way in which they're very efficient,